I am joined today by a very, very special legendary guest. This is Dick Foth, and I can't even find words to describe who you are or what you do. You have been a president of a college. You are a grandfather to 12, a great grandfather to 5. You have been my father's mentor. You have mentored tons of politicians in DC. You're an author. So I guess the best question, Mr. Dick Foth, is how would you introduce yourself to our audience today?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I would say, I would say, I'm on my 84th trip around the sun, and I never thought I'd be this old. And if you do the math on that, one trip around the sun is 584 million miles. If you multiply that out over 83 times, that's somewhere over 47 billion miles. And if you add to that 15 or 14 pounds per square inch of atmospheric pressure, I used to be young and slim with dark hair, and you look at it now, this is what I look like, and I just came to bring you all hope. You know,
You are the great mentor of great men, and you want your title to be friend. I said, what would you like your title to be for this podcast? And you said just friend. And I think that's really powerful. It goes into the relationship side of things. And talk to me about why your title is friend. I mean, you've done so many amazing things, but why do you like to go by that now at this season?
yeah, and it isn't something I'd have on a calling card, but I went from being a college president with a card and a staff and a team and a car and all that back in '93 to Washington D.C. for 15 years, where we didn't have titles on cards. We just came alongside leaders to encourage them in whatever arena they were, and it could be anywhere. I mean, it could be, well, you name the agency or the place. It could be that. And the idea of being a friend is that friend is a function or a title that will get you into anywhere in the world. Listen, you don't know effectively, or you cannot lead effectively with listening to whatever it is. And in order to listen, you have to go where they are. Books back in the day used to say management by walking around. But when somebody takes the time to come to where you are, again, what they're doing is validating you. And it doesn't mean when you ask for ideas, they're going to use every idea or any of them for that matter. It depends on the moment in time. But when I look at the people who I consider leaders, they tend to be people of vision. They tend to be people who can make decisions. And they tend to be people who have a capacity for anticipating what's coming over the next hill.
Hmm.
A leader at his or her best is always looking for ways to serve the other. Okay. That's true in business. That's true in a marriage. That's true in a teaching student relationship. That's true in a mentoring relationship. The basic idea of leadership is influence, right?
Yep.
And today we talk about thought leaders or influencers. We use that language now.
Yep.
But uh, his definition is something like this. It has variations. A leader is a person who selects noble objectives and pursues them with such intensity and sacrifice that they carry other people with them. A leader is a person who selects noble objectives and pursues them with such intensity and sacrifice, second, third mile, that they take other people with them. Best teacher I ever had, best prof I ever had. Her name was Dr. Lois LeBar. And she helped teach me how to ask questions.
Hmm.
And she would say, if you want to have a conversation, do not ask questions that could be answered yes or no. Ask ask to what extent questions, or how long has it been questions, or what do you think about questions? And that capacity for conversation, especially for younger people coming up today. Each of us is a walking book.
Hmm.
We have We have sentences and paragraphs and chapters and sections in our story. And we have two parts to our story. We have the diary, which these are the events. These are the things that I remember, that, let's say, that shape me. These are the things either that happened to me or around me or I created, whatever those are. So that's the diary. And then I have the journal. And the journal is how I read those events, how I interpret those events. And the feelings I have that I carry in me come out of my journal. Your brain is wired for story.
Yep.
That's all connected to memory. That's why dementia and Alzheimer's is such a killer,
Yep.
because the story goes away. And if you're 2 or 92 and somebody says, once upon a time, all of a sudden I'm there, right? That's how it works. And the there's something about that. I've had the privilege of speaking to groups and in places for the last 60 years. And there's something about um, telling somebody else's story, a great story, parts of your own story, that invites people in. I would submit that your story is a Velcro ribbon to which other people can attach things. And I just did this 4-part thing that I call relational baseball for building relationships. And first base is your story, and second base is affirmation. When I start hearing your story, I know where to serve you best. So second base is affirmation. Third base is covenant, when we start hanging out and doing stuff together. And home plate is dreaming. If I can trust you with my history and trust you with my now, maybe, just maybe, I can trust you with my dreams.